Good morning, property leaders. I'm former United States Army Sergeant Anthony Russell, and today we're going to be talking about my 10 steps to buying a new rental property. All right, property leaders, before we get started, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. And if you think that I left something out of this list, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear your input. Okay, let's jump into it. Step 1, the pre-approval. Most agents aren't even going to talk to you unless you have a pre-approval letter from a lender, private lender, a bank, somebody saying that you can have money and how much, and or you have proof of funds. Some of you with deep pockets, you're going to need to be able to prove that you have the money to buy the property. Once you have this step secured, then we can start searching. Okay, on to step 2. Search for and identify a property. This could be going through Zillow, Realtor.com, whatever your flavor of online listing site is. You can also go through an agent. Make sure to give them specific criteria so that they can help you actually find what you're looking for. Know your target area, things like that. This is going to be crucial for getting a good list of properties that you're interested in. Okay, step 3, make sure that the numbers make sense before going to the property. What does this mean? This means that the rent in the area is good enough. You can go to things like Renometer and get an idea of what rent in the area is for a comparable apartment. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be like after repair rent, stuff like that. But just make sure that the rent is enough. Sometimes they'll even list, if the property is rented out, they'll list what the rent is in the listing. So you can use that to help gauge as well where the building is. Look for comparables in the area and make sure that your profit per door is going to be enough. Remember, this is just an estimate, okay? It's not perfect, but if the estimate is way off, then it's not even worth looking at the property. I would say that 90% of the properties that I look at, that I weed through, this is where it falls. It falls into, okay, this is viable as a rental property, but it doesn't meet my expectation of profit per door, so it's not worth my time. That's where a lot of my deals fall, so I don't even look at them. Don't waste your time. Also, you can go to the county website and get the tax information. You can figure that out in your estimate. You can get the real tax numbers, and you can also email your agent and ask them ballpark what insurance would be for properties like that. I wouldn't email your agent for like every single property. That will probably annoy them. So maybe just like get a ballpark for a couple different types of properties. All right, step 4. This is a fun one. Look for obvious deal breakers in photos. So, all right, buyers, let me clue you in here for a second. These agents are crafty ones, okay? They are crafty. They will take photos of the property, and they will take photos of things that are obviously concerning, like the roof caving in or basement wall caving in or a massive crack in the basement wall, things like that. They will take photos of it, but they will not annotate it in the description. You have to know what you're looking at. If you don't know what a crack in the basement wall or a bowing basement wall looks like, then you're going to miss it. And the agent is probably not going to tell you because you have to do your due diligence. These are things you're going to want to look for. Make sure you keep a watchful eye out for them. And if you have any questions, you can always ask somebody. You can always take an expert with you. It's not that big of a deal, okay? And to you agents out there, I see what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I'm onto you, okay? Stop it. Stop it. Okay, step 5. Now it's time to go check out the property. This is where your agent is going to come into play. They're going to have to schedule the viewing for you, unless you're doing like a for sale by owner deal where in that case, you're just kind of going to negotiate it with the seller yourself. But in most cases, you're probably going to go through your agent. Just let them schedule it for you. Tell them what times work best for you. Make sure that when you go out and view the property that you take your time. You're going to feel under pressure from your agent to rush through this, but this may be one of the very few times that you'll actually get to see this thing in person. So take your time, take pictures if you can. Don't take pictures of people's private stuff. That's not cool. But if you want to take pictures of damage or of windows or of the basement just to remember what it looks like, now's the time, okay? Get in there with your checklist, look for foundation issues, look for roof issues, look for outdated windows. Also, this is the time when you're setting up a viewing to request copies of leases. This is where you're going to want to do this because when you take over a property, you're going to be legally required to uphold those leases. So make sure that you reach out to you have your buyer's agent reach out to the seller's agent and get the copies of the leases. It might take them some time. Some of these landlords are still working on like all paper copies. So get the copies of the leases. Make sure that there's not something crazy that you'd be agreeing to in there. Make sure that the leases actually exist if there's people that live there. And also, it's going to tell you how the building's performing. It's going to tell you how long that person's been there. It's going to tell you what they're paying. Ask for the rent roll to make sure that they're actually paying on time and everything. Yeah, so that's what you're going to do here. That's the step 5. Okay, here comes the fun part. Step 6, making the offer. So this is where you're going to take some of the things that you saw at the property and you're going to use that to make a competitive offer. Remember, me personally, I like to look for buildings that are ugly ducklings. I like to look for buildings that have been sitting in the market for like 3 to 6 months, something that people are turned away from because it's ugly or it's, cosmetically wrecked and smells like cat pee. And those are the things I look for because, or those are the buildings I look for because those are the ones where they haven't, been able to sell the building and they're going to be a little more willing to negotiate with you. So I like to make an offer that is not as good as my best offer. I think your agent should be coaching you on this. Your agent should be a fiduciary for you and trying to get you the lowest price possible. Don't be an asshole. If the building is worth $100,000, don't offer them 50. Don't be that person, okay? But make a competitive offer. This is a good time to start, okay? So that would be my recommendation. Offer a little bit less than what you're willing to pay. Step 7. After the offer is accepted. Okay, so we have gotten the offer accepted. Now it is time to do your inspections. Do not skip home inspections. You will be tempted to. You will think that you know everything. You do not. You do not know everything about home inspections. Do not skip this step. One more time. Do not skip home inspections. You don't know what you're talking about. Hire a home inspector. Cannot say that enough, okay? Even if you're a certified home inspector, get a second opinion, okay? Let's just make that abundantly clear. You're going to want to hire somebody that is going to be scary. I always tell my home inspectors, scare the hell out of me. I tell every single one of them. I say, look, I want you to write up the littlest thing. I want to know everything about this property. I want you to take pictures of everything. I want you to scare me into never looking at real estate again. Okay. That's what I want you to do. That's usually what I tell my home inspectors because they're going to write up this massive report and you're going to look through it and some things might be concerning, but most things probably are not concerning to you. Okay. And, that's okay. That's what you want. All right. You want to know everything that you're getting into. You don't want to be surprised about it. All right. It's going to help you make your repair schedule. It's going to help you figure out what your cost repairs are to get the building up and running. This is your bread and butter. Okay. So much relies upon the home inspection. Do not skip this step. I will find you. Also, don't forget to get septic tanks inspected. Also, in the wintertime, home inspectors don't like looking at roofs because they're afraid of slipping off of them. Do not skip the roof. If your home inspector tries to play a game with you where they're like, oh, it'll be $300-400 to go out and do the home inspection, and then they don't inspect the roof, you tell them that you're only paying them 2/3 of what they asked then because they only inspected 2/3 of the house. All right. Basement needs inspected. The main body of the house needs inspected and the roof needs inspected. If you don't know the condition of the roof, you are skipping 1/3 of the property, and that could be a big 1/3. Get the roof inspected. Step 8, renegotiate the deal. Okay, look, you have your inspection report now. You have the massive scary document with everything in it that is possibly wrong. You're going to want to take this document, you're going to want to find the worst things in it, and you're going to want to pull on the negotiation lever. You're going to go back to the seller and you're going to tell them, look, here is X, Y, and Z. The property is not worth what we agreed to. I want X amount of dollars discounted. I mean, why not? If you don't do this here, you know, this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to get your deal. Okay. This is why we get such a detailed inspection report. Work the price down, get the best deal you can. Also, at this point, you're going to know the financials essentially on the property. You're going to know what it's going to take to get it up and running. You're going to know if it's going to cash flow for you, what your profit margins are going to look like. If it doesn't make sense to you, then you need to kill the deal based on the inspection report. You're allowed to do that. Don't let them stop you. That's what it's for. It's a contingency on closing. If the contingency is that, you know, the inspection report comes out well and that, you know, there's nothing on there that changes the offer, then, you know, you got to go through the deal. But if the inspection report comes out and there's things on it, because you're not an expert, remember, if there's things on the inspection report that come out that, you know, need repaired, you're allowed to kill the deal. That's okay. You know, it's your money. It's your money. You're the one that's taking on the, you know, $500,000 loan or whatever. It's you, not your agent, not the seller's agent, not the seller. It's you. So make sure that you are comfortable with the deal. Make sure it cash flows, make sure your profits are right, make sure the repairs are what you expect, and then you can remove the contingency and go to closing. Okay, you have made it to step 9, closing. Congratulations. This part is not nearly as scary or difficult as a lot of people think it is. If you are getting a bank mortgage, then you're going to have a massive stack of documents to sign. But the title company will do all this for you. Like, you literally should just have to walk in, sit down, sign the paperwork, and leave. A lot of times they'll even come to you. I've had them come to my house. I've met them at Panera. It's wherever you want a lot of times. But yeah, the title company is going to handle figuring out if the property has any liens on it, if there's any, you know, due taxes, stuff like that. And they're going to organize all the paperwork for the title transfer from the seller to you. Make sure you have your cash with you, whatever they tell you to bring. Not cash, but, you know, they're going to tell you if there's money due at closing and how to handle that. Be ready to sign a lot of paperwork, though. Unless you're buying with a cash purchase. I bought a cash purchase, or I did a cash purchase not long ago, and it wasn't nearly as bad. It was pretty quick. But that's what closing is. It's just a bunch of paperwork signing. Wear a nice suit, be happy, get ready to celebrate. You're ready to close on your property. Okay, step 10, time to get the keys. You are not going to get the keys the moment you sign the paperwork. That's not going to happen. It usually takes a couple days. The seller's agent will give you the keys once the title has transferred and all the money has transferred and everything. So once you get the keys, the building is yours, and then you can start onboarding your new building. That's essentially all of it in a nutshell. I know it's a complex process, rightfully so. You do not want to end up with something that you are unhappy with, because as I mentioned before, this is your money, this is your credit, you know, you're the one taking this building on, and once closing happens, that's it. You're on your own. Don't expect anybody to want to come back after the deal, after the transfer of the money, and help you. Like, my agent has been very good to me in the past. I work with Chase Group in Northeast Ohio exclusively. They're good people. Matt Chase is a good person. I work with them quite a bit, and he has come back after the deal has closed on more than one occasion and given me advice and help on things. But I would say in most cases that's probably not going to happen because their job is done. I mean, I don't expect my agent to come help me onboard a building. But yeah, if there's deal related things after it's done, you could feel free to reach out to the agents. Things with leases, like getting copies of leases, which you should already have, but sometimes things slip through the cracks. So feel free to reach out to them. Sometimes they'll help you. All right. Well, I hope this list was helpful for you. I'm going to be covering onboarding in a separate video in excruciating detail. So check back for that. Until then, property leaders, get out on patrol, get under those buildings and find something to fix, huh? If you'd like a copy of my book, Leadership for Landlords, check it out on Amazon, available now in paperback and ebook. Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. All right, property leaders, get out on patrol, get into those buildings and find something to fix, huh?